Yes, my name is LaShawna Dixon. 4th week in a row. I mean, we're not really going anywhere. If I'm not here, that means I'm at work. So just want that to be noted.
Ma'am, do you have an address or?
Oh, yeah. I live in Tim Kelly's ward,
Thank you.
5th ward. That hasn't changed. Um, I just want to bring to your attention that the $6,000 grant, or one of, I'm sorry, I may be wrong, but you have to have a certain income base. There is a young lady with a 1-year-old child sleeping in a car because she does not meet the income requirement that is thrown out there. So here we go. I don't know who has children. I personally don't have children, but I have 9 godchildren. She is in a car with a 1-year-old baby. It is hot. We have smoke in the city. And this is something that needs to be, and God knows where everybody else is. But this is a woman with a child in a car. We need immediate help for these people. They need permanent housing and permanent solutions. So I hope that you hear me out in getting these people some real help and getting homes. We have talked about all the money that the city of Davenport has went through with flooding and lost insurance lawsuits, settlements. That type of money that we had to put out then, that is the money like we should be putting out now to make sure these people have homes. This is an infant that has no home. Have it in your heart to find a solution today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, Mayor and City Council. Been a while since I've been up here. There's some people up here that I have never met before. There are those of you that I have. I must say something because I've been here throughout many different councils that have been here in the city of Davenport. I've lived in each of the 8 wards that we have in the city of Davenport. I have a pretty good knowledge of the city. I've lived in buildings owned by slumlords. I'm going to say something about this public with business time being publicly viewed. I hate to point out a fact, but that used to never be viewed publicly because it was never recorded for public viewing. It's just something that was added on by the council as something for us to be able to say something if we're going to say something constructive, not as a tax. Just thought I'd make that point. This is an opportunity for us to bring viable suggestions and business to the council at this time. I think what would be a beneficial thing here is if the mayor and city council in an executive session can come up with a ad hoc committee built primarily of those that are contractors in the area, people that have done, repair on buildings and stuff like that, that would come up with a comprehensive plan as to how to go about holding nuisance property owners, accountable on a regular basis. Because when I was a tenant in many of the different wards in Davenport, the landlords that I've lived under, their buildings should never have passed inspection. When you can see the outside from your wall, when buildings look like they're ready to collapse on you, they should not pass. Those type of property owners are nuisance property owners and should not be allowed to own property in the city. I know that the city council had condemned a property that was up on 35th. I used to live in those apartments when they were kept up, but when they got switched over to who owned them after the people that I rented from, they went down really quick in, the ability for people to live in. And several of the tenants were put in a bad spot because the owner of the property filed bankruptcy and had the tenants still paying them rent. So when the tenants had to actually move out, they had no electricity, no heat. So they were in the middle of winter time with no electricity and no heat at that time and had to find somewhere to move, no way of covering a deposit. And those type of property owners should be forced to have to do something. I think the city
Thank you,
council
sir.
can do something, but we need to be positive when we talk
Thank
to
you, sir.
council. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thanks for the opportunity. I'm Bill Handel. I'm a resident of Nashville, Tennessee. I also own a house in Davenport and am here when I can. Just wanted to talk about something that isn't necessarily at all in your purview, but I was heartened about the positive response to historic preservation with today's vote. But it's regarding something you all know, but which is the proposed demolition of Monroe School and Washington School, two of the, I think it was 7 or 8 elementary schools that Davenport Schools built in 1940, all of which are now standing, and which the city has, the school district has done really a great job of maintaining, and they've used them up to just a few days ago when they closed Washington and Monroe. I was at the board meeting the other night where they had the final unanimous vote to demolish those buildings. And what I saw was a question that was asked of one of their physical plant people: what would it cost to bring one of those buildings up to the type of code that we would need to use it for schools? The answer was maybe $9 million. And the second, someone asked another question: have there been any credible offers to purchase either building? And the answer was no. But now these are the same kind of answers and questions that I'd heard in Rock Island about the demolition of their courthouse and Audubon School, which was an equally good school that was demolished about 5 or 8 years ago. But anyway, it seems to me buildings of this quality have our Monroe School. It's the heart of the West End, I think. It's one of the finest buildings in this city. It's a modernist building. There aren't very many of them. And if the school district, I guess, from what I understand from someone else, really has taken no serious action to get that building historically nominated or architecturally nominated so that it could be used for tax credits for an adaptive reuse. And I'm just asking, because that type of thing is, having buildings like that are the kind of thing people look for in a city that they want to live in. And so I'm just throwing out ideas. Perhaps someone in the city could work with the school district at this point before they issue it for bids to say, we'd like to take over some aspect of that school for a amount of time to
Thank you, sir.
give it those credits so that it perhaps could be used for
Thank
adaptive reuse. Thanks for your time.
Anyone else?
Apartments would be a great idea for those buildings.
Hello, my name is LaKana Dixon. Unfortunately, I'm a member of the 5th Ward. I wanted to come up here and speak about safe and affordable housing for everyone. I just want to point this out. I agree with what everybody says before me, but we have a serious problem. I had attended a meeting, 3rd Ward meeting, 2 weeks ago, and it made us very visual about the homeless in the area, the homeless that are sleeping on park benches outside, when we were outside watching this building come down. And I asked, well, what are you guys doing for the homeless people that are downtown? I received the answer that you can go anywhere in the United States and you're gonna see a homeless person sleeping on a bench or under a bridge. That is not okay. We are Davenport, we're supposed to be proud, and as sure as all you are sitting here, I bet you'll say that you're proud too. But what we're not proud about is seeing homeless people laying outside on park benches. And she also said that we have outlets like Salvation Army and Christian Care across the street for those people to go to. But I called Christian Care for a man, and they said they didn't have a bed for him. And so he'll have to sleep outside that night because they don't have a place for him. Salvation Army only takes families, and, each place has excuse. So now that I've done the footwork and tried to call homeless shelters for these people to go, now we know that there is a direct problem. We have a problem with homeless in our city, and there's not enough resources for people. And there's people that actually have low-income homes, and they're having problems too, keeping up. And then we have people who, just all around. Just think about the whole thing around. People have problems, and I know you guys probably seen these people sleeping on the streets, and everyone's turning a blind eye. Not everybody, because I know community members have tried to help too, because your community is actually helping people. We have shared GoFundMe, gave money, not only just the homeless, but the people from across the way. So we're not coming up here saying to y'all, hey, y'all guys aren't doing nothing. Well, it feels like y'all not doing nothing, but the help that you guys have gave them is not help enough. So I just urge you guys, late at night, if you can, I don't know if you're too busy getting your beauty sleep, but if you can, go out here and look at these park benches. Look at the people sleeping outside underneath these bridges. Nobody should have to do that. We're supposed to be Davenport strong, Davenport happy, Davenport pride, and I don't see pride in that.
Thank you, ma'am.
But
Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Ewell, 6th Ward, Davenport, Iowa. I reside with my wife, Justine Ewell, and 2 children. I am a concerned resident, husband, and father, and certified real estate appraiser who took an oath to protect the public trust. I have a personal statement as well as a demand letter from my attorney, Allison Kane, to present to council. Would you please give that to Brian? I'd like to thank you for your time. It's a hard time for our community. But thank you for your public service. To all of you, I trust that we can move forward in a way that just protects the public trust going forward. I'd like to thank you again.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Spiegel, is there anything else this evening? A motion to adjourn? Second. Motion and second. All in favor to adjourn? Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned. Have a good weekend. Thank you for coming.